better keep your old mouth shut, Terrell. Because Coley Claiborne's back in town. Now, he sees all that gold you got in them teeth. Well, he and his pa just might stake out a claim on your head.
Mr. Milton? Mr. Milton?
Ah, it's you, huh?
My pa said if I ever need anything, I was supposed to come see you.
Yeah. Coley, I'm a businessman. My equipment is for sale, not for loan. And I'm well aware that your pa's my cousin.
It ain't that kind of help.
Coley, you're about big enough to do a man's work. If you want a job, if you want a chance to earn some money, I'll do what I can for you. But,
All right, just forget it.
Well, where are you running off to? Listen, you tell your pa or me, there comes a time in every man's life when he gives up chasing rainbows and pays his bills. And when he does that, then we'll talk. Now, you just tell him that for me. You just tell him that.
Ah. Yeah, what you have? Flour and salt. Yeah, real good, huh? Yeah, got it almost loaded.
We? What is this we? How come I always do the toting and you end up doing the checking?
I got the pencil and paper. And salt. Hey, Coley, how you doing? I didn't know you took up reading for the law.
I went to see Judge Butler, but he's not there. Is, your pa in town?
No, he's up in Sacramento. Anything I can do for you?
No.
Coley.
Son, I hope you're expecting to pay for those things.
Reckon I'll be needing some ammunition for the Springfield, a couple of new picks, and a shovel.
Coley, if you're hungry, take the bacon, the beans, but I already told you, Pa, there's no more credit. Makes no difference does he send you or come himself.
Come on, Claude. Why don't you just put it on his pa's bill? You run this place on credit.
Joe Len Claiborne's in to me for $140. Now, because he ain't got the guts to come down and face me, he sends a kid.
That ain't true.
It ain't, eh? Then where is he? Why didn't he come down instead of you?
Because he's dead, that's why. Because he's...
Excuse me. Charlie, you seen Coley Claiborne?
Yeah, he's in the stable. He slept there last night.
Good, thank you. Coley? Hey, Coley. Wake up.
Hi.
Joe came home last night and told me you were in town by yourself.
Ain't nothing you should trouble over.
Hey, Charlie, let me use that towel, will you?
You bet.
Coley, little Joe tells me that that your pa's dead.
He told it right.
How'd it happen?
Shelf caved in on top of him.
I'm sorry.
Don't be. It was quick, like he'd have wanted. Too late for him to know, so, there's nothing to be sorry about.
Where did this happen?
Up on Purgatory Ridge, where I buried him 3 days ago.
Coley, did your pa ever mention to you the fact that he'd made some arrangements in case something like this did happen?
If you're talking about Caleb and the judge and your pa, yeah, he said something about it.
Well, you see, your pa's will made them the executors. And that means that my pa has something to do with looking out after you. Now, until he gets back to town, that's my job.
From now on, I'm gonna be looking out for myself. And there's something I gotta take care of right now. Mr. Thompson, yesterday you said I couldn't have no credit because my pa owed you $140.
I said you could have the beans.
Oh, now, you tell me if there ain't enough dust there to buy more than beans.
Hoss, look. This ain't dust. This is real glory gold.
Coley, just come off your pa's claim.
Oh, shelf of it.
Coley, yesterday you didn't tell me you could pay.
Well, you didn't give me a chance. You were in such an all-fired hurry to say no.
Hang on. Coley, you still can't pay. This ain't yours yet, neither is that claim. It's a part of your pa's estate. I think you better come on out and spend the next few days with me at the Ponderosa.
What for? Just so your pa can get his grab ahead of the others?
Nope. So that we can make sure that you get exactly what your pa wanted you to have. Do you know what'll happen when this town hears about this strike?
The only claim on Purgatory Ridge worth a dime was the one that me and Pa staked. All the rest of the claims on that ridge were dug up and forgot about years ago.
That's right. And you're gonna have guns to protect it, just like your pa wanted my pa to protect you.
Yeah? And he's got Caleb Melton protecting him. And Melton's got the judge protecting him. Funny. Pa said with 3 executors watching each other, I might just get what's rightly mine.
Come on, Coley.
Son, I don't like to think of you sleeping in a stable with this on your person.
Better in some places, I know.
Why'd you run off anyway? I looked all over for you.
Oh, you did? Well, Haas didn't have any trouble finding me, and he just got here this morning. And he'd been looking for me before he knew about the mine. So, that puts him ahead of you others.
Judge, I suggested to Coley that he spend the next few days out at the Ponderosa.
Oh, no, just a minute. What rights have you got in this?
My pa left me his power of attorney, and I'm acting on his behalf till he gets back.
It's perfectly legal. That's a pretty good idea, considering what this town is going to be like after they hear what's in the assay report.
Aren't you forgetting I'm the boy's only blood kin, if he's going to stay with anyone?
Hey, Coley, you mind leaving us alone for a minute, huh?
All right.
Run on. Now, Judge, I'd like to hear what you think.
Now, this thing kind of caught me with one foot in the stirrup, as it were. I got business over in Fallon. Now, when's Ben coming back?
About a week.
Ah, works out good. I'll be back by then. Hoss, you take care of the boy until us 3 duly appointed executors can sit down and decide what to do. I got a feeling that's not going to be so easy. That boy's got a real hard head.
Plain cussed stubborn like his pa, if you ask me.
Well, what else can you expect? He spent the last 4 years with him.
Yeah. It's been rough on him ever since his ma left. And speaking of his ma, I think this is something we ought to discuss with her.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Hoss. You're not going to bring her into this. Well, come on now. Everyone knows Margaret Claiborne just up and ran off from Coley and his pa 4 years ago. That's a plain case of desertion.
The way I remember it, she took a daughter and a baby boy with her. Now, that ain't desertion.
Len's will don't mention anyone but Coley.
Lynn's will don't mention the gold strike neither, Judge. Now, I for one, think it's something well to discuss with her before we make any decisions about Coley.
Maybe you'd like to discuss it with that drummer she run off with, too.
Now, that's got nothing to do with it. She's still his mother, and I think we ought to try and get in touch with her. I'll notify all the major newspapers, run a legal notice on Len's death.
So what do? Just sit around here and wait on this woman? Who hasn't seen fit to contact her own son in 4 years? And let a $2 million claim lie fallow?
There's more to be considered than just money, Caleb. We got to think about Coley and what's going to happen to him.
We don't find out now.
Quiet down, quiet down. What's this all about?
Well, the boy claims his pa struck it rich before he died. Got a lot of people stirred up.
Yeah, we just thought we'd clear it all up. And mining town is short on work. Ain't no place to be salting rumors.
This here boy's lying.
Now, you just listen here, you old claim jumper. I ain't lying. Well, you asked them. They saw the assay report.
Coley, I told you to keep your mouth shut about this.
Well, now, just how long do you think you're going to keep a thing like that quiet, Hoss?
Till the estate's settled, and the claim can be assigned to a company.
I don't see where that ought to take forever. Everybody knew it was just Coley and his pa.
Well, the boy's got a ma, too, and it seems she's going to have something to say about it.
And Maggie Claiborne?
Well, she ain't fit enough to use these city streets, much less tell this boy nothing.
Hey, shut up.
I'm sorry, son.
Coley, you ready?
Yeah.
We're going to have to get some guards out on that claim.
I'll get him out there by this afternoon.
Fine. Come on, Coley.
Hoss, the minute I get a reply, I'll contact you.
All right. Any of you men want to earn $1 a day and found as claim guards, get down at the sheriff's office in about 20 minutes and be deputized.
Well, I'm not working for those. Not me. I'll find out about that claim. Yeah, that's all I want to do. I'll tell you what we're not telling us all about it.
I guess you can't blame those fellas for being a little disappointed. First it was a gold rush in the making. Now it's less than miners' wages.
Well, we only need 10 guard. They'll be there.
I suppose. That's because they don't think like we think, do they, Caleb? The Southern Central Mining could be very grateful to anybody who'd help us secure that claim.
Just what are you driving at?
Well, that used equipment we let you have, Caleb. We could forget you ain't paid for it yet.
You tell that company they can pick up this worn-out junk anytime they want. Now, you'll pardon me?
When I say grateful, Caleb, I mean real grateful. Oh, I'd look if I were you.
What do I have to do?
Just deliver, that's all.
Joe! Hey, Joe! Hoxie! Yeah, looks like you and me kind of got it to ourselves. Tell you what, you can take the first bedroom top of the stairs.
And how much is that going to cost me?
What'd you say?
My pa said, when a man offers too much, find out his price.
Well, right now, I'd settle for a little less sass, a little more respect.
That why you brace take Bradley? I know what my ma was, Hoss. My pa told me right enough.
I just want to hear her side of the story, and you should, too.
That day, when Pa and me came home, That cabin was so quiet you could hear your own breathing. Little Billy, Beth, her, everybody gone. I never will forget Pa standing there with her note in his hand. Like something broke inside.
Did you read it?
Didn't have to. Meaning was plain enough.
You know, Coley, sometimes folks have reasons for doing things.
First year, I prayed to hear one. I'd have listened. That was 3 years ago. Too late to start wishing all over again.
But it's never too late to listen, Coley.
You're wrong. It's too late for Pa. So it's too late for me.
Looks like half the town turned out to meet her.
Well, let's get on over there.
Thank you. Those three up there are mine.
Sure ain't the Maggie Claiborne I remember.
Well, that's that San Francisco living.
House Cartwright. Caleb, thank you for meeting. Margaret? I'd have been here last week if I'd seen the paper sooner. Where's my boy?
He's out at the Ponderosa. We thought that's the best thing to do until we cleared up a few things.
I didn't come here to clear up anything. I just came to get my son.
You see, ma'am, that legal notice you read in the paper don't mean that you can just come and take the boy.
The fact is, Coley doesn't even want to see you.
I expected that. His father had him for 4 years. But I'm his mother. Let me have him for a few months, then he can decide for himself.
Well, ma'am, it ain't altogether that easy. You see, there's more to be considered than just who's going to be the legal guardian.
You mean the $2 million?
You heard about Lynn's strike?
Of course, that was in the papers, too. And men from the mining companies came to see me.
Yeah, well, you don't have anything to do with the mine. You aren't mentioned in Lynn's will.
I don't care about the mine or the money, just Coley.
Well, you can say that, but who's going to believe it?
I'll swear to it in court, and I'll sign any papers you want.
This won't be a matter that comes to court.
Ma'am, the 3 executors will decide who the guardian's going to be. That's what we want to talk to you about.
Who else would he go with but me?
Well, Margaret, you'll have to admit the boy's been a lot closer to me than he has to you these past 4 years. And I am Lynn's blood kin.
But we're Coley's kin. He belongs with us.
Honey, there ain't nobody going to make any decisions about Coley until my pa and the judge get back, and that's it.
House, I want to see him.
Well, ma'am, I can't promise he'll talk to you.
I think he will. He's my only son.
What about the younger one? Johnny, wasn't it?
His name was Billy, Mr. Milton. He's dead. Over 3 years now.
Beth, we don't burden others with our troubles. I'll wait for Coley at the hotel. Come back.
Ma'am, I'll take care of your baggage.
No, thank you. We'll manage by ourselves.
It's usually used for shortening rope. See how easy it comes loose? It's called a sheep shank. Although that's not a proper name for a cattleman to use. Here, come on. Try it. You can do it.
Well, I don't know if I'd be much of a cattleman. I think I'd just soon stick to prospecting.
Seems to me prospecting's for those who ain't struck it rich yet.
Not with Pa and me. We was gonna keep on going. Just the two of us. Depending on nobody.
But it seems while you two were busy depending on nobody, you, sure were depending an awful lot on each other. Hoss, you're just in time to help me convince Coley to become a cattleman.
I've got something else I need to talk to Coley about. Coley, your ma's in town.
You know how I feel about her, Hoss. As far as I'm concerned, she's just as dead as Pa is.
She didn't come along.
You mean, Beth and Billy, too?
Well, not Billy, but Beth. And she's anxious to talk to you.
I can't hardly remember what she looks like. Except she's homely. All right. I'll go with you. To see Beth and nobody else.
I don't care what this town thinks. I want to see my son.
Well, you see, it ain't altogether that easy.
Mother, I think Mr. Cartwright's trying to help.
Then why didn't you bring Coley here?
I did. But, you see, he don't want to talk to nobody but Beth.
Mother, let me talk to him, please.
All right. Where is he?
He's just across the hall. He's waiting for you.
Beth, tell him for me. Never mind.
I'll tell her, Mother. Coley?
Beth? Beth, is that you? Oh, come in.
All the way from San Francisco, I've been thinking of what I'd say when I saw you. And all of a sudden, I don't know.
Boy, if I'd seen you on the street, I don't think I'd have recognized you.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
You didn't. It's just that you look so old.
Well, I guess you know about Pa.
I tried to cry when Mom told me. But I couldn't remember him except for his beard.
What happened to Billy?
Well, the doctor in Placerville called it lung fever. That winter, when you and Papa didn't come back.
We came back. As soon as it thawed.
We waited till April. Mama worked in the laundry in Placerville till summer. After that, we went to Sacramento and San Francisco.
I ain't holding it against you, Beth. I mean, there wasn't much choice, not then. Things are a little different now. You don't have to stay with her anymore.
You don't mean that.
There's money. Enough for the both of us the rest of our lives. Now, Pa'd want that.
But you're forgetting about Mama. She loves you, Coley. That's the only reason she's here.
And that's a lie.
Len's responsible for the way Coley feels, but why should the whole town hate me?
I reckon that you were just something a little grander than they were expecting, ma'am.
What do you mean?
I mean, like the clothes you're wearing.
I made these clothes myself. It's the way I earn my living, dressmaking.
Well, I reckon I was thinking of Lynn and all those years and the hardships.
When did they start feeling sorry for him? The way I remember it, they all turned their backs on him long ago. Afraid he tried to borrow more money.
Yeah. Well, that changed when he found all that gold. And people tend to forget a man's faults after he's dead.
Pity they're not so considerate of the living.
It's just human nature, I reckon.
And I ran away and left Coley and his father. Is that what they're saying?
Yes, pretty much.
And you. All of you. You think that's all there was to it? Coley.
You gotta tell him. He thinks we love because we didn't love him.
It's all right, Beth. It's all right, son.
Don't call me that. Now, you just listen. No matter what promises you make up or what lies you tell, it ain't gonna make no difference.
Coley.
Still your mother, Coley.
And it's nothing I'm proud of. You should have thought of that before you came back.
Guess I didn't know what I was coming back to.
And don't try and turn me against Pa with your lies. Like you've done with Beth.
Coley, that isn't true.
It is true. And I gave you a chance to come with me.
What?
I said I gave her a chance to come with me.
You had no right to do that.
Just as much right as you have coming here stirring everything up.
One thing your father didn't teach you, respect for others.
Oh, yeah, he did. For them that deserves it.
Ain't a soul in Virginia City that knows what your pa's intentions were better than you. And you take a man like Hoss, he thinks he just can't make a mistake, like about your mother.
You mean he's the one who wanted her here?
Yeah. Now, you and me, we understand each other, don't we?
Yeah, I reckon we understand each other.
All right. Now, I'm not denying for a minute that it would be a real feather in my cap if I were to wind up managing your holdings. But you just think what it would be like for you if anyone else ended up your guardian. Say your ma.
You seen Coley Claiborne?
Oh, yeah. Hoss is right out there on the front porch with Caleb Milton.
Hoss? I was just telling the boy here he's got some deciding to do.
Yeah, I'm sure. Coley, you about ready? Time we was getting back.
Mr. Melton, I'll I'll think about it.
Good night, boy. You do what I say now.
Caleb, I don't want that boy fretted.
Hoss, it wasn't me wanted to bring that woman back here.
She came back here so the boy could make his own choice. Now, it's going to be rough enough for him without everybody pulling at him from every side.
What do you want me to do? Just give her a free hand?
Nope. I'm asking you to let that boy make up his own mind.
Well, Hoss, I think he already has. And I think Judge Butler's going to see it the same way.
She's probably right. Coley's mother should be here. She should know what's going on.
Well, I'm glad you agree. Melton doesn't.
How come?
Oh, I reckon he wants to be the guardian or something or other.
Oh. Does he want to be the guardian of the mine, too? What about the Judge Butler? What does he think?
Well, the judge has been out of town, and ain't no way of knowing what he thinks.
Well, what do you think?
Well, Paul, I just can't figure a lady like Mrs. Claiborne leaving one young'un and raising another one as nice as Beth.
Well, would you make a decision based on that?
I don't know. But I ain't got to make that decision now, have I? I'm glad you're home, Paul.
Do you think he'll ever talk to us?
You were supposed to be asleep.
I can't sleep, Mama. Knowing how Coley feels. Maybe if I'd been a little nicer.
No, darling, you were fine. Your brother's got his mind made up. I don't think we can change it.
Not ever?
I don't know.
But we still love him.
Sometimes just loving isn't enough. You have to prove it.
Whoa. This buggy all right, Mrs. Claiborne?
Fine, thank you.
See you when you get back.
Miss Claiborne! Miss Claiborne!
Get out of my way, all of you.
Not till I tell you. There's a lot of folks in this town don't have any use for your kind around here. And as soon as you start moving, you just keep right on moving and don't you ever come back.
I don't care what you want. Now stand aside.
Whoa! Now, Len Claiborne had a lot of friends in this town. Good friends. Now, we don't want you coming back here and grabbing that money and laying another stain on Len's grave.
I don't recall you as such good friends of Len's, and I don't care what you think of me. Now get your hands off my horse.
Leave the lady alone.
Turn loose those lines.
Ain't no cause for you two to come butting in here.
I said turn loose those lines.
Here's your luggage. Did you ask him to bring the bags out here?
No, I didn't.
Take the bags back in the hotel.
All right, get out of here. All of you. Go on, get out of here. Sorry about that, ma'am.
Thank you.
I don't think they'll bother you again. I'll put your bags back in the hotel.
No, please. They saved us the trouble of packing.
Ma'am, there ain't no need in your going. As a matter of fact, Pa would like you to come out to Ponderosa. He's planning on having a meeting of all the executors.
Well, that's where we're going, but just to say goodbye to Coley. No meetings.
Joe, why don't you ride on out with him, and I'll take care of everything here in town.
Right.
Coley, before you say anything, I invited your mother and sister here.
It's your house.
Yeah, that's right. But you know, the world would sure be a whole lot better off if people could only learn to listen to others, even though they don't care for them too much. Just listen. So why don't you do that?
If you say so, I'll listen. You see, I've already made up my mind. I know who I want to take care of me.
We'll discuss that later.
We just came to say goodbye, Coley, that's all.
Why don't I leave you folks alone?
If I hurt you by coming here, Coley, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Why'd you even come? I didn't ask for you.
Maybe we came because we love you. Did you ever think of that?
You maybe, but not her.
How do you know unless you give her a chance to show you?
I'm giving her the same chances she gave Pa and me.
Say goodbye, Beth. It's time for us to go.
You're mean, Coley. You're dirty mean.
Now, it wasn't me or Pa that made it like that.
I guess none of us had a choice. Please, all I want to do is leave.
You do that, ma'am, and we'll just have to follow you to San Francisco. Now, there's some talking has to be done. It might as well be done right here and now. Say, you're a pretty little lady. Why don't you go out there and join Hoss and have him show you the ranch?
Coley? You haven't let anyone change your mind, have you?
Didn't budge me none. I'll stick with you.
That's what I told you, Judge.
Now, this is bound to hurt some, so we'll get it over as quick as possible. There's some things going to be said that are not for your ears, young fella, so we'll thank you to leave.
If you're going to be talking about what's going to happen to me, I got a right to listen.
Oh, sassing your elders, huh? Well, you don't look too big to spank. What do you think, Ben?
Coley, why don't you go upstairs, as the judge asked? We'll call you.
If I've learned anything in 20 years on the bench, it's that people change their minds. What they say one day they got to be the next. Now, Coley, he might change his mind. And that's one of the reasons that we wanted you here. There are others, but that'll do for the moment. Now, this isn't a court of law, but what we say here and decide had better hold up in one.
Well, that's why Len named you as one of the executors.
It's a matter of custody first. We could talk about the mine and the money later. Is there anything you'd care to say?
Coley's decided what he wants.
Well, what he wants is not too important right now. It's what's best for him that we have to decide.
Well, it's pretty obvious that she is not what's best for him.
I'm just making some opening remarks. And you'd be polite to shut up and listen. Now, in a court of law, there's only one reason to take a boy away from his mother. That's if she's not fit to be his mother. Now, it's only fair to tell you, there's some talk that you're not.
What do you think?
I said it was talk. I didn't say we believed it.
Margaret, there are always two sides to every story. And I think the judge was trying to say he'd like to hear your side.
You separated from your husband? That might be a good place to start.
She ran off and left him.
Yes, I left him.
And your son.
And my son.
You just packed up and left with a fancy drummer.
With a drummer, yes. I wouldn't hardly call Abner Coles fancy. He's a nice, fat old man with 5 children of his own and a wife. He was kind enough to give me and Beth and Billy a ride to Placerville.
Abner's not only fat, he's as homely as 4 miles of bad road.
Why did you go off with him?
There was no food in the house and no money. Billy was sick. Len was gone. He was too busy looking for gold to worry about whether we ate or had medicine or had clothes on our backs.
The fact is that you didn't have to go. Any of Len's friends would have helped you out. You could have come to me.
Could I? Len asked you to grub stake him lots of times. You turned him down. And his friends, they ran when they saw him coming. They were so sure he'd ask for money.
I'll agree to that. It occurred to me that Len's memory has suddenly taken on a considerable amount of shine since folks learned that he'd found a gold mine.
The mine is what brought her back here. I don't care what she says. She's after the money.
That's a lie.
Well, then why did you stay away for 4 years? If you were so interested in your son, why didn't you come back a long time ago?
Come back where? Len and Coley weren't in Virginia City. I could have walked over all the mountains in Nevada and never found them.
Well, you could have written.
I did write. Not just once, at least a dozen times. I wrote and told him where we were in Placerville. I wrote him when Billy died. I never got an answer.
I don't believe that.
I wrote him from San Francisco. I told him what I was doing. I told him how he could reach us. I told him how much Beth needed him. I told him to bring Coley and come to San Francisco. Or to send for me and Beth so we could be a family again. And I never heard a word.
Let's gentle it down. Shouting at one another is not going to settle anything. Now let everybody sit down, and we'll start from the beginning. Nice and reasonable. Sit down, Margaret. You too, Caleb. Go on over there and sit down. Now, you used to see Len from time to time. Did he ever mention that he'd heard from his wife?
No. He said the last he ever heard was the note she left when she ran out on him.
An attorney would call you.
Mr. Cartwright, I got something to show you.
Where'd you find these?
In my pa's stuff.
These are letters that your mother wrote to your father from Placerville, from San Francisco. Why didn't you tell me you had them?
I didn't know what they were.
What?
I don't know how to read.
I wrote to Mr. Melton twice asking where Len was. He never answered me either.
I never got a letter from her in my life. There's not a word of truth in that woman. She's lying. She's lying. She's lying!
Now, you wait a minute. You're the one that's lying. You said that she didn't send any letters to my pa, and she did. Oh, and I bet you she wrote you, too.
Now, don't let it get to you. She's lying.
You're the one that's been lying this whole time. Don't tell me my ma's lying. Wait a minute.
Trying
My
to
ma
get to you.
isn't
Don't let
lying.
it get to you,
I
son.
said my
Remember
ma
what you
isn't-
said to me? We're gonna... Stop it!
That's it.
All right, stop. Take your hands off me. You poisoned his mind against me.
Mrs. Claiborne said she wrote her husband, and she did. She said she wrote you, too. Did she? Well, did she?
I think you've got your answer, Judge.
I think so, too. Caleb, if you're planning a court trial for the boy, don't. You may have to explain why Pollard's been telling folks that he's got you and the mine in his back pocket.
Coley.
I'm sorry.
Caleb left here under a pretty good head of steam, so it looks like there's just you two executors left.
Well, that's enough to decide what to do, as long as they can agree. You any suggestions?
Well, families together, it's the important thing.
I have one suggestion.
Yeah, I think I know. Let's have some of that brandy.